This movie tells the story of Annie and Jay Hargrove, a married couple in Los Angeles with 2 kids and a sex life that has gone from constant and ecstatic to theoretically scheduled for sometime around Thursday. Annie has a parenting blog called Who's Yo Mommy that is on the verge of being acquired by a children's brand company called Piper Brothers. Jay is a music programmer who gives away iPads preloaded with his playlists as gifts. These 2 facts are going to become a crisis before the night is over. The film opens with Annie narrating her blog.
Do you remember the first time your husband saw you naked?
The film then traces the arc, the early years, constant and physical and passionate, then the pregnancy announcement at her parents' house, where Jay declares his penis can see the future, and they are calling it Nostracoccus.
We're in love, we're pregnant, and we're getting married.
Then the adjustment of sex while heavily pregnant, then the birth, then 2 kids, and then the present. Jay is asleep in the car before Annie can finish a sentence about scheduling sex, and the last time they were intimate was during a linen sale at Bed Bath & Beyond.
Hey, we should have sex sometime soon.
Maybe Thursday.
They are not bad together, they are just exhausted. Annie gets a meeting with Hank Rosenbaum, the CEO of Piper Brothers, who tells her she has brand potential as the model Piper Brothers' mother. He gently flags that her post about the erections everywhere, was perhaps not the brand voice they are after, but everything else is perfect. He wants to make a meaningful offer. Jay, meanwhile, is receiving new iPads at work and giving away the old ones preloaded with his playlists using an app called FrankenSync. He has a complicated syncing system, and it works out, he says. He gives them to family, friends, colleagues, the mailman. It is the gift of the playlist. That night, Annie sends the kids to her mother's for a sleepover and meets Jay at the door in lingerie and roller skates. She has champagne. They have the house to themselves. They try various approaches and discover that after years of parenthood and exhaustion, both of them are slightly in their heads about it. They talk on the kitchen floor. Jay tells her she is a sex pot and an instant giver. She tells him to go on the kitchen floor right now. And eventually, they get there. Then Annie has a second idea. They still have a copy of The Joy of every position, all of them. They are going to film the whole thing. They drink tequila. Jay sets up the iPad camera, introduces himself as Professor Jay and Annie as his lovely wife, and they begin working through every entry in the book. 3 hours later, Jay tells Annie to erase the video. He says he will not forget. He does not erase the video. The next day, Jay's FrankenSync app syncs the new video to every iPad he has ever given as a gift. He upgraded to the new version of the app called Bride of FrankenSync, which turns out to sync everything. The full list: his friends Robbie and Tess, Annie's mother, the mailman whose name is also Robbie, a colleague, and Hank Rosenbaum, the Piper Brothers CEO, who was given one specifically because Annie needed it for a work presentation, since she needed a way to share her proposal, and who is therefore now in possession of a 3-hour video of the model Piper Brothers' mother. Jay discovers this when an unknown number texts him, "Enjoyed your video, thanks for sharing." XOXO, Jay tells Annie. She is very still for a moment. Then she methodically explains what she is feeling, which is that she is not currently sure how to hurt him, but she is working on it. They agree that the texts must be from Tess. The XOXO sounds like Tess. Jay says maybe she just saw it and stopped watching out of respect for their privacy, and got a new number. Annie says yes, that is obviously what happened. They make a plan, get all the iPads back before anyone watches the video. Maybe no one has watched the video. They start with Annie's mother, who hands over her iPad cheerfully and mentions she had to make sure it was working. Then they discover their son Clive also has one. Annie confiscates it immediately. They drive to their best friends Robbie and Tess's house on their 12th wedding anniversary and ask for the iPad back under the cover of needing some files they left on it. Robbie and Tess reveal they were watching Breaking Bad. Annie accidentally blurts out that they made a tape. Robbie and Tess admit they already watched it. They are extremely supportive. Tess tells Annie her body is insane. Robbie tells Jay it is a great tape, and he had no idea Annie was that flexible. Jay is given the iPad back, but Robbie cannot find it immediately and pulls it out of his pants. The group goes through the full list of who has an iPad. Hank Rosenbaum is the name everyone stops at, the CEO of the company that wants to buy Annie's blog, who has been given an iPad specifically for work purposes and was never told it included Jay's comprehensive playlist, and also now a 3-hour sex video. Tess's sister is Hank's florist and knows where he lives. All 4 of them drive to his house. Annie and Jay approach the door under the cover of a charity for children with oversized kidneys. British orphans, Jay adds. Hank lets them in. His wife Shlomit and the kids are away for the weekend. He is listening to metal, drinking 50-year-old scotch alone, and has decorated the wall with a commissioned painting of himself as Rafiki presenting Simba to the Pride Lands. Annie distracts Hank while Jay searches the house for the iPad, where he is immediately cornered by Hank's enormous dog named Ariel. Jay attempts to befriend the dog. The dog is not interested in friendship. Jay performs CPR on the dog after a standoff in the bathroom. Hank takes Annie to the secret room behind his wall. Piper Brothers' 75 years memorabilia, a framed photograph of Eazy-E, whom he misses every day, a man of many hidden parts. He offers Annie cocaine. She is about to decline. He reframes it as a Piper Brothers value, friendship, and she accepts one line, reasoning that she is distracting him. Robbie and Tess, who have been waiting in the car and presumably doing something, ring the doorbell presenting themselves as the mayor of Thousand Oaks and his first lady, visiting to collect used iPads for the Big Brother charity program. Hank hands over the iPad without hesitation. He thinks this is a great idea. Jay emerges from somewhere in the house, claiming he had an epileptic fit in the bathroom, but that the dog saved him. They leave with the cocaine straw, which Hank insists they keep. They have the first real argument of the night. Annie tells Jay he does whatever he wants, and she holds everything down, which is true. Jay tells her he kept the tape on purpose because it was one of the greatest nights of his life, which is also true. Then they find out the XOXO text was not from Tess after all. Driving back to Robbie and Tess's, Jay notices the unknown number text. The source is Howard, the 12-year-old boy next door who is Clive's best friend and a precocious tech prodigy. Howard has already copied the video to his own device and uploaded it to YouPorn. He wants $25,000 in cash. He is going to buy a horse. Jay informs Robbie, who does not believe Howard is capable of this. Jay and Annie take the kids, who have been in the car this entire time, and drive to the YouPorn servers in the valley. It is not a small operation. They break a door. The owner, Lamont, runs through an extensive list of competing sites to establish that they are not affiliated with any of them. His wife, who is a fan of Annie's blog, convinces him to take it down. All they have to do is pay $15,000 for the broken door. Back at home, Jay remote wipes the mailman's iPad from his computer, a feature he discovers exists at approximately midnight, which would have saved all of this. The morning of Clive's 4th grade graduation, Jay and Annie, both running on no sleep and one line of cocaine between them, get the family fed and dressed and out the door. This information would have been useful approximately 12 hours earlier. Howard arrives at the house and gives Jay the last copy of the tape. He is doing it for Clive, who is his only real friend, and he wants to be able to hang out with him. Jay gives Howard due credit. At the graduation, Clive has prepared the class video yearbook, saved as Video 1. Jay and Annie both suddenly remember that Video 1 is also the file name on the iPad. Jay jumps off the school balcony to get to Clive's laptop before the presentation starts. He makes it. At the ceremony, sitting next to each other with Jay in significant physical pain, they tell each other what the night revealed. Annie says Jay would do anything to fix the situation she was in, that there is no one she would rather have when the shit hits the fan. Jay says she is generous and imaginative and always knows what matters, and that she is also a fairly significant lightweight, which he considers a great quality. It is the most they have said to each other honestly in a long time. They watch Clive present his yearbook. That night they watch just a little bit of the tape, just to see what they were dealing with, and discover it is spectacular. They delete it immediately. They will not think about it again for at least a week. And that is how the story ends. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and drop a like and a comment to keep me going. Thanks.